Hi guys, welcome to my channel Practical Reefer. My name's Mark. This is week one of my 20-gallon budget reef tank build. Every week I'm going to show you step by step how to set up a reef tank for £500. This will include absolutely everything you're going to need to run the tank for a whole year. So your sort of maintenance stuff and testing and stuff for water changes and daily maintenance, that's all going to be in there, and there'll be enough to cover you for a year. So this week, week number one, I'm not going to cover everything that's included in that £500. I'm going to start with scape, and then I'm going to look to start getting that cycling while we set up some other parts of the tank. So this is number one. I'm going to be using the Aquarium Solution DD Aquascape rock, and I've got a box here which just happens to be slightly smaller than the tank that I'm using, which is 60 centimeters by 40 by 40. I could have used the actual box that the tank came in, but I happened to have this and I was already starting to play with it before the tank came, so this is ideal. It's just a little bit smaller. So I've got this started up here. This is just mocked up. There's nothing secured at the moment. I've made a little there's a little cave here, and there's also a little cave just behind that, and then this sort of bigger structure at the back. There's a cave that faces to the side of the aquarium, and then there's also a cave that goes straight through to the back. I plan to do a bit of an overhang that comes out from this middle part, and the bit on the left here, we've got kind of a tall piece of rock, and I've got another couple of pieces balancing on there. The little box of Aquascape is holding an overhang there that sticks out, but I'll probably use a bit more. The three large pieces of rock at the top there, probably going to take a little trip out to the garage and take a hammer and a wrecking knife to that and a chisel, take it apart a bit and build some of this up a bit more. The plan is, I mean, there's a couple of islands here, so I'm looking at maybe a little bit GSP, a little bit Xenia, maybe some macroalgae, so might need to keep them apart. Also, it's fairly nice. There's lots of swimming space, but there's also lots of places for fish and critters to hide. I'll be using the DD Aquascape putty. What I did get was the coralline algae colour. Probably should have got the grey, but I'll be able to use, there's lots of sort of little bits of rock and stuff crumbling on. There's kind of a fine dust. There's quite a lot in the bottom of that box, which I'll be able to put over some of the joins if the coralline's sticking out too much. You won't see it once the coralline grows over it, but to start with it'd be quite nice. It would just look a wee bit more uniform. As I was sitting there, guys, I'm just going to give you a quick fly over the scape as it is. It's still just just balanced at the moment, nothing's secure. So all we've got here is a little cave, a little island that I can put maybe some coral that might grow over other stuff like GSP. That's probably the plan for that, but also a little hiding space. There's another little cave there which will be isolated, and then we have this sort of small tower with two pieces of rock balance in there, one using one of the boxes and another piece which I've managed just to get to sit properly. So I've got that, a separate island as well. I may join these two together and then our main structure here. So quite a lot of real estate there for probably going to be zoas on that main structure. And then I plan to do an overhang that comes out from here slightly. And again, that's got a cave at the back. There's quite a lot of space there. And then it also has one that goes towards the side of the tank. And one thing as well that I've been careful to try and keep in the scape is to have a couple of centimeters, you can't quite see it there, all the way around the box. That's a bit dark, just so it's not near the glass, so I can still clean all of that. What's good about the scape as well is that I can, a lot of these pieces are individual, so if this piece in the back corner is a little bit too close to the glass, I can move it over slightly. Same with this one, I can move it in a bit and to the front, and these islands are pretty flexible. They'll be good for moving about as well and maintaining the sand bed. So I'll go through just now how I'm going to put these together, and then also I'm going to break up some of these in the garage. Hi guys, so just going to have a go at the larger bits of rock that I didn't really find a place for. Did get myself some safety goggles, something I'm maybe not the best at, but I imagine some of this stuff's going to fly, and I don't fancy some small pieces of rock or grit in my eye for Friday night. So good old trusty hammer and an old wrecking knife. It's kind of like a two-sided chisel. So I'm just going to try and find some weak points and just have a go. There we go. there, pop that in. Still quite a large piece. This piece looks a bit better now. I'd say I've got a couple of flat edges there. I can play about with that. I'll stick with that for now. Sorry for I'm using a little chest mount, so the angle would change every time I move. But let's go route 2. I think that was a small spark. Oh, there we go. That's a nice enough little bit of a platform. Again, might have some use for that. Let's steal another monoblock and try a bit of brute force. Do it again with this one. Let's try and get it seated onto the brick nicely. There we go. A few nice pieces. If you want to know what live rock tastes like, it is a bit chalky. That's a nice enough bit. And there's a lot of smaller bits there, so this will get me where I need to be. Right, back to doing scape. So guys, as you can see, obviously I took the hammer there. I was just showing you a few chunkier pieces there, some relatively flat pieces that I can get a bit of work on, and some nice little pieces to work away on there to fill in some gaps and some rubble. So I can play about with a lot of that. Now I'm going to probably show you how to do the arch now, and then I'll probably work away on the rest as a little maybe time lapse or something. So guys, just going to go over a bit of the scape that I've been working on. I was working on this last night. The Aquascape Construction Epoxy, I wasn't that keen working with it. It was hard to make things kind of bond together quickly, and there's a lot of holding it, and it didn't grip the rock, so it just kind of came apart. Whereas what I found a lot better, which was something I happen to have, is Aquaforest Stone Fix. You can get this for about £10 for a 1500 gram tub. Now I got this from someone that was about half empty, and it's going to do more than enough for what we need here. What it's basically like a cement, so I got myself a little jar, had to wash it out, and an old teaspoon. And I did manage to do one with the epoxy, and it's does the job. But then I also filled in with some extra Aquaforest Stone Fix there, and this is a piece here that I did as well. It becomes more like a cement, so it's kind of a paste that you can put in. What I did have to do, a couple of bigger bits, this is defying gravity slightly, so this is the top piece, and then I was able to kind of bond these together and just dab in the Stone Fix into the joins, and that's done the job. This is just a little bit of garden wire for holding back plants and things. I've done the same here, so I'm holding it here by the small rock, which is just a little overhang piece that I was able to get to balance naturally in the scape, but obviously it needed fixing in. So piece on there, I mean, it's essentially cement. It is now just rock, and this is the smallest piece. The whole piece below is the main base of that. This is the back left corner, so quite happy with that. I'll if that'll be included, we'll put that into the pricing that we're going to do. We'll still be fine. I'll carry on with this. I'll go with the Aquaforest Stone Fix. I'm going to finish the scape, and I'll show you that in a minute. Just a quick tip. This is the back of the main structure now finished. It was just slightly off level. There was just a little gap at the bottom. You can see there, which just allowed it to roll back slightly. Only enough, it wouldn't have fallen over, but I just wanted to make sure it was perfect. So what I knew is that a daub of the Aquaforest Stone Fix would be perfect to pop under there, set it back down so that it was level, and then it would just give it a little foot at the back. But I didn't want that sticking to the paper or the cardboard or whatever I was going to do it on. So took some of the rubble, the sort of very small gravel finds at the bottom of my live rock box that I got delivered in, popped that down first, lifted this up, dollop of the Aquaforest Stone Fix, which you can see there, and then just set this back down, and then just left it to set. And then I popped in an extra bit of rock and something there, so it was a bit more substantial, but that bit there will be perfect. The Stone Fix, it was more to hide the Stone Fix a little bit as well, but just something there just to help you level things out, because I wouldn't have got a piece of live rock that was thin enough to go under that little gap. So and then it would have made it unstable in the other direction, so that's what I did to fix that. One other quick tip, the cardboard box that I used to mock my scape up in before I got the tank, I've cut that down and just used it to shield the sides of the tank just for lifting in the scape. It's not big and heavy, but it just gives me a little buffer. Just make sure I don't tap the glass on the way in, and it's more to stop any scratches, but that'll be fine. But I'll drop the scape in and let you see it, guys. So guys, that's the scape finished. As you can see here, I've got a sort of tower at the back with an arm that comes forward, or an overhang. And there's also one that sticks out to the side a bit, and then I've added an extra piece on top just for an extra bit of room for corals. Two little arches at the bottom. I say little, they're actually quite chunky. The one on the right here was originally just the two pieces, the one on the left and the top of the arch for the bridge. And then I added the other little piece, which has maybe made it a bit bigger than what I planned originally. So one of those little bridges or arches might go. But I think that the key thing for me was lots of hiding space for the fish and the inverters and stuff. So the main structure at the back, you have two arches, excuse the reflection there. I'll show it better from this side. So we've got here, there's a little arch there, but also at the back I've got clearance to get in and clean algae and things like that. And I've kept that going all the way around, so there's a little bit. With it all being kind of separate, so the main tower at the back, the main structure, and then I've got these two little arches. Everything can shift about a little bit, so if I do need to move things, they can be. But it's all steady. What else as well? This main piece is separate from the rock at the front there, so they come together. So this is all going to allow me to put it into tubs to start it off cycling without too much trouble, and then I can lift it back in once it's cycling. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to set up filters and things in the tank and spray paint the back and stuff like that. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It is quite a lengthy process. It's the sort of thing you'd maybe, for a small scape like this, you'd maybe spend the weekend, but you'd be doing it sort of mornings, mid-afternoons and evenings, because some of the larger structures, you have to, you know, one piece needs to be done and then it needs to wait to dry, and then you need to come back to it. So it does take a bit of time. One thing I would say is, for weight, I'm into this for about 16 kilograms. So I've just weighed my box here with a few leftover rocks, a bit of the sort of shrapnel, and some smaller chunks I'm left here. What you do have though is some potential little frag plugs or little bits that you can put bits of corals onto and things like that. So bit of spare there, you know, maybe something on the sand bed, you want to put a little frag of something on there, or you know, you maybe want to change a bit of the scape in future, or you might even start a small nano, even smaller than this. You've got 4 kilos of rock left there. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Give me a subscribe and a like below, and leave any comments on what you think of the scape. And follow me next week. I'm going to be collecting some natural seawater, and then I'm going to start getting this cycling. Thanks guys, see you next week.